Yes, now people. Welcome to the PTMA podcast. This week, I unfortunately have with me Sky and her really bad connection again, Nick and his incredible background, and myself, Anthony Leslie Park. Welcome to the podcast where we, as a collective of over 50 worth of experience, answer the most burning questions of personal trainers, coaches, and gym owners across the industry.
Burning questions.
What did you just say?
That should be the intro each week, minus the death stare that you just gave down the camera.
Right, I think she thinks, right, that we're taking the piss out of her with this, right? Like we don't want her on it or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to video it, right? I'm going to tap out my brick and I'm going to video her speaking.
Sky.
Can you hear us, Sky?
Yeah, I can. I'm here. What's going on?
Say that again. Sorry, Sky.
Sorry,
Speak up
Sky.
again.
I'm here. What's happening?
Well, that's enough evidence that I'm going to send in the WhatsApp group now for her to watch. And then we will kick on here. Sorry for everyone who's listening here. It's not a great start. But sometimes you can't get the staff. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just can't get the staff.
I do know what you mean.
Flipping and messing about with a Netto Wi-Fi. Remember Netto? Some people listening to this won't be old enough for that.
You can dial up over there, 1991.
You listen to that, Sky. Put yourself on mute in the process.
Right. Question one. Let's get on with it.
What is the single most important characteristic for a PT to possess in your own opinions?
Characteristic. Okay. Characteristic of Anthony. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hurry up.
I think two combined.
Just said what?
Yeah, but I would want to give two. Having a growth mindset and being able to kind of fail forward. I've said that a lot and I like the saying.
Your sound has gone now. No, it's come back now. What's going on here? What an absolute shit show this is today.
My bad.
Yeah, you're back now. What's going on here? Do you want me to do this on my own?
Did you get that?
Yeah, something about failing forward and growth mindset. How very cliche, Mr. Coach of the Year. Oh, here she is, look.
There she is, Mrs. Hill.
She is.
Wait, I'm on my phone though. Is it working? Is it any better?
Hey, there she is.
It's much better, but what that's going to do now is fuck the edits up. You know what I mean?
Don't care.
Not a problem.
I just don't want to be left out, so here I am.
Sky, what's the single most important characteristic for a PT to possess, in your own opinion? Possess.
Characteristic, not like skill.
Characteristic.
The single most. I was going to say resilient, but it's maybe a bit more about, I don't want to say ambition, but you've got to have some sort of drive. You've got to be able to kind of chew yourself on because it's fucking, not chew yourself off, Anne.
Oh, she said cheese.
I knew, I could tell.
You can't go out removing ribs. Come on.
I knew it from your fucking reaction. If you're a PT, you're running your own business, you've got to be able to be the one that goes, right, I need to get this shit done this week, right, I need to put this into my schedule, right, I need to market this service, like no one else is going to do that for you, and as much as we're there to help guide the coaches and give them that accountability or reduce some of the overwhelm that people have, like it's not us that does that. So I think if you haven't got that bit of ambition or drive, which could also be resilience, you're just going to fail.
All right.
Good one. What's yours, Anne?
Where are we at? Sorry, who? No, I'll find it. You carry on.
Oh, you want my opinion, innit?
No, I'm not bothered at all.
I would agree with the setbacks and the stuff, but I'm going to say self-awareness. I think that's an important characteristic to have. I think when you are more self-aware of your personality in terms of character traits and so on, I think that can benefit your own coaching a lot more, and therefore you'll probably get the best out of your clients and therefore get more results. And ultimately, that's what you paid for, kids. All right. Next question, please, everybody.
How is the Mastermind workshop?
Why are you shaking your head?
I'm shaking my head because there's no system here. There's no logical order of the questions being asked.
So it's going to go Ant, Nick, me then. There we go.
So who is it now?
I've just asked the question.
It.
So who?
Sky. All right.
The Mastermind workshop was good. I thought it was class. And I haven't done a small group like that. I think the events that we've done have all been big groups. I feel like there was a lot more one-to-one time. We got to relate a lot of the stuff that we were delivering individually to people's business and what they're going through at the minute. Yeah, apart from the room being 1,000 degrees, I think it was success, and I thought the topics that were delivered were great as well. Very current. And
is that right? No, yeah. Listen, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, and I think, from a selfish point of view, I wanted the guys to go out of the room from my part with some pressure off. So then, when they left the room, that they've got work done that takes some pressure off them and some reassurance. And I think, for the most part, that was achieved. Yeah, I think it was good. It was good. The food was really nice. I was surprised by that. And they welcomed me having seconds and thirds, so that was great too. So, yeah, they were big bonuses. Well done there, Nick. Fantastic. Next question.
What was a moment when you realised, I'm pretty good at this coaching thing?
What are you laughing at?
It's a fucking good question.
All right. I've shared this before, and the moment that sticks out in my head is I had a client called Gary who had a son who I coached Gary for about a year before this happened. I had a son who he was not really connected with very well, because Gary was like he was a CEO in work and a massive workaholic. And we'd done loads of work around his kind of self-awareness around exercise activity, because he was pretty unhealthy when he first come to me. And that had gone from Gary doing next to nothing to Gary doing 5Ks, Gary doing little competitions in the gym that I used to run with my clients in terms of strength-based stuff. And then Gary letting me know that him and his son had started to do park runs together and started to book time in with each other. And I just felt that was the moment that actually I wasn't impacting just one client, I was impacting more than that. And it meant it aligned with the main purpose why I come into the industry, which was to have that impact on people. Yeah, you kind of I think sometimes you forget that yes, you are coaching the person in front of you 1,000,000%, but the ripple effect that can have on other people's lives around them is so fucking rewarding. It's unreal. And it's the one moment that sticks out to me that gives me the reassurance that actually the information and guidance and support that I've given Gary is able to confidently then connect with his kid who he struggled with, the child at that point, a teenager at that point, always in his room on his Xbox and all of that type of stuff, didn't move a lot, was quite unhealthy. And for that to start to progress in the way it done, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I must be doing all right. So that was the biggest moment that sticks out for me. I know you're all emotional now listening to that. I'll give you all a minute to dry your eyes, mate, and then we'll crack on. All right? Next question. Does anyone else want to elaborate? Do you want to share a little moment like that?
No.
Okay, fucking monkeys. How to maximize getting people on board your FLC gym floor on Instagram. So what an FLC is this is his front end offer. So he's doing like an 8-week program as a front end offer. And then advice on upselling to one-to-one afterwards. I've given him quite a bit of feedback on my thoughts on this. So it'll be good for him to have Nick's feedback first.
Maximizing. Okay, gym floor. Okay, simply, well, very first thing is to make sure that you're setting aside the time to enable yourself to be on the gym floor. And I would say have a very specific activity or tool to engage with people that are going to lead to you positioning your front end offer. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can prescribe, as we went over on Friday, you can either kind of prescribe it based on who you think is going to be the right fit for that during conversations with people, or an activity that might lend itself quite closely to what the front end offer does and provide people, or you can prescribe it, which would more so come from them doing like a questionnaire or a survey and them establishing their current barriers and challenges and outcomes, and you basically diagnosing that this is going to be a solution for them. Either one of those, essentially, or a little bit of a mix, maybe to mix it up a little bit and give you some variance. But I'd be aggressive in my action taking, not my conversations, but aggressive in how I put myself out there, the targets I would provide myself with, which correlate to you've got to make sure that time frame of a program has an outcome very clear. You lower the risk for people from having a guarantee, from being really, really specific with what problem it solves, on how they're going to get there. And essentially the same thing on Instagram, like the same thing. You want to get people to put their hands who are experiencing the current pain or problem or challenge that they're experiencing now, what your front end offer is going to solve, and get in a conversation with them and agitating that pain to the point where you have those conversations and you can be able to position that as a solution. So exactly the same. You're just doing it obviously in a virtual manner. And then upselling it onto one-to-one, be very, very clear on like the next steps for them. Make sure you have full engagement with them. Make sure you're future pacing in regards to what this is actually going to do for them and what the next steps are from the very first start, and put steps in place to make sure you're having those conversations and able to like review the progress and look to the next steps during, I would say, what, 8 weeks in, 6 weeks into that program. So yeah, those are the things I'd say. Sky, anything I missed?
No, the only thing I was thinking when I think about this, because I've got a few coaches at the minute who are launching lead magnets to lead into a new program, new offering that they've got, and everybody just leads with tailored nutrition, a program, like the features of the service. They never lead with what the time frame is, what the outcome of that is, what people are going to end up feeling like or having at the end of this program. And I just feel like it holds people back from really connecting the dots for people that...
She had a phone call, ain't she? I know.
She's having a nightmare, that's what she's having. Should we move on to the next question?
Let's move on to the next question.
Go on.
I feel like I've been putting in the work, but I'm not seeing the results I expected. How do you know if you're on the right path or just wasting your time? When do you push through? When do you decide it's time to adapt, change your approach?
I think having some time to genuinely reflect on the work that you've been doing in terms of, it can sometimes feel like you're working really, really hard and there's not a minute in the day, but then the outcome that you're expecting isn't being achieved. But it might be because the work that you are specifically doing isn't enough to move that specific outcome. And I'll give you an example of this. Sometimes if you're doing lots of sessions in your day, lots of programming in your week, should I say, client feedback, you're obviously turning up, doing your sessions, replying to clients, you're doing your content and all of that. You're caught up in this constant kind of movement of of a working week, right? And I think sometimes ultimately we need to press pause and sit down and go, right, what is the one single biggest thing that I need to achieve right now, right? And then from that, let's say that I need to generate $1,000's worth of revenue as soon as possible. I want to see a return for my efforts. I would then reflect and review them efforts, because from experience, and this is not a dig, by the way, to anybody, from experience, the efforts don't match. The expectation doesn't match reality. And it's a very humbling, and I've been through this many times before. I've got frustrated and all of that. It's very humbling to go, maybe I've not been doing as much as I needed to do to move that one main thing. Or maybe I have, but actually it feels like a long time because I'm knackered, I'm feeling a bit burnt out, I'm always busy and all of that. But actually it's only been 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of going all in on one main thing and having the right inputs. I'm talking about, let's say marketing, you want sales back. And that is you putting out the consistent content, putting out the emails, putting out the lead magnet, nurturing the process, spreading awareness consistently, and all of the efforts that align with that outcome in a consistent manner over time. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 months to start to see the consistent return. If I'm then sat there after 3, 4, 5 months of at least me doing all of that consistently, I'm bringing in leads, I'm doing all of the non-negotiables with social media, email marketing, my lead magnets working, all of that type of stuff, and I look back and go, fuck, that's not matched I've only ended up with 2 free sales. Then maybe I need to sit there and go, shit, I need to change and adapt this approach. That might sound a long time to some people, right? And I get that. When you're using platforms like Instagram and all of that, and you've got seconds to grab people's attention, or you're only sending 1 or 2 emails a week and you've got seconds again to grab people's attention, what we're trying to do here is build up levels of consistent awareness in various different touch points and various different platforms for a consistent amount of time. So if you're sat there after 3 months and you've done consistently that work and gone all in on the inputs that take you towards that main aim, and you can categorically say you've done all of that for 3 months minimum consistently, then change and adapt it. Before that, you've got to push through the tough moments, because my last point, you will be probably more than likely finding yourself that you're just really busy, doing lots and lots of work, but only 20-30% of it is maximum is towards that main outcome. Anything you would add?
No, I gave feedback on this, but I think I'd agree with everything you said there. And I think it comes back, I think a lot of it stems off expectation. And, you know, the other thing that I've kind of mentioned that you kind of didn't touch on was, well, you did a little bit actually. Like when you've got a lot of the processes that are really heavily manual, like a lot of manual labor, like doing the emails and messaging people back and forth and setting up the sequences, and everything is time consuming and energy consuming. Like you said there, it does feel so much effort goes into something sometimes, and to not see the return you ideally would like or expect. There is that, of course, because when expectation doesn't meet reality, that's where unhappiness and disappointment comes about, doesn't it? So you've got to realize is that, and I think also when you go through your own buying process, this really helps to manage that expectation. As an example, I probably have a very classic example of that 7-11-4 rule from Google research. Like the latest service or mentorship I signed up for, honestly, was probably way more than 7 hours worth of content. I watched so many YouTube channels of this company and this person they ended up signing up for. And I went to sign up for him and the company probably 4 or 5 times before I actually then went through with it. So again, I think sometimes it's difficult to hear this sometimes, but it's probably at the point where you're feeling like that, where you've got to push through. I really, really genuinely think that. If you are doing the right level of work for this particular person, they absolutely are. It's more of an expectation standpoint. But very, very difficult regardless.
What's going on here? I can see a name. All right. Next question. What is your favourite style of training?
Favourite style? I love variety. It's why I train the way I do, like CrossFit and High Roxy kind of vibes. I like lifting and heavy weights. I like gymnastics, base stuff. I probably don't, they're probably my kind of preferred methods. Running, even though I don't hate it, it's probably least favourite. So I'll probably stick to kind of your hybrid-y weightlifting, gymnastics type of stuff. Yeah, high intensity.
Next question.
What's yours, Anthony?
My favourite style of training. What did you say? No, it's not. Yeah. My favourite style of training. I would probably say now more than ever, and this is probably just because I've had to work around a lot of injuries over the past 2 years, is the conditioning pieces. Like the conditioning pieces are probably now part of the program that I look forward to. So predominantly I'll do like what you would probably call I don't know what you'd call it these days, functional, hybrid, strength conditioning, whatever. Style program, but I actually feel like I like to challenge myself against, like I'll often look at the leaderboard and see where people are at from a strength perspective, but I really like pushing the pace a little bit on the conditioning pieces more than ever now. So yeah, I would say that is my favourite style of training. Next question.
Next question is tips on promoting a lead magnet on social media.
Okay, so first tip would be involve your audience in the creating of the lead magnet. So that would be my first tip. So that would be, I've got these ideas. Let me give you some more context. Please help me pick, right? That would be my first one. Second one would be, once they've picked, talk about you creating it, letting them see behind the scenes of it, the outcomes that they're going to get from it, you building it, all of that. Build some excitement behind it. Third one is I would start to release a bit of a date that people can grab it. And this sounds like a bit of a launch style delivery, and it slightly is, to be fair. People can grab it, and then anyone who's been in your polls, boxes, stickers, who's helped you build it, I'll be sending them some private messages just to let you know this will be done by Friday or whatever. Then I would start to talk directly about who it's for quite a bit, why you've created it, the outcomes that people can get from it. Don't shy away from directly talking about what people are going to get or what it is. And then I would drill it for 1 to 2 weeks within planning your content that links to it. Directly talking about it, as I've just said, sharing some results of people that might have used something similar to that within your business and all of that type of stuff. And then I would absolutely drive the hell out of it. I think sometimes the problem for a lot of people from a lead magnet perspective is they'll put something out. If it doesn't meet their expectations, then you'll just fizzle away with it because you haven't got the return. The important thing about it is set it up well, like I've just explained, and then absolutely hammer it 2 to 3 weeks and then back off again. Anything you would add?
No.
The setup to it is really important, in my opinion. They're the ones that go down really well. Next question. Main takeaways from the prep day.
I want to do more. That's first takeaway. Second takeaway is it just reconfirms how much you can get done when you take distractions away. That's my second takeaway. Yeah, they're my top two, to be honest. What are yours?
I'm trying to think of this as not as a mentor. I'm trying to think it as I suppose I need to think it as a mentor or as a coach, don't I? Oh, I think that the only one is it's always nice, and I say the same every time, to just have people in the room and seeing that everyone's going through something similar, because it can sometimes feel like you're on your own. Like it can sometimes feel like we talk to PTs a lot who go, is it only me who does this? Or I procrastinate all the time, or I feel overwhelmed, or I've got so much to do and I don't know where to start, or that's the main things that people got runs through people's heads at certain points. And I think all of that comes with running a business, and the clarity off the back of it is you sitting down and prioritizing what it is that you need. But I think then being around other people that going, I feel that too, is very reassuring. But also, as you've just said, being able to sit down, press pause on the business for a day and do the work is mega important, mega important. And for me, the best way that you can progress. Is that all the questions?
Yes, mate.
Fantastic. Outro. Who's doing it?
Your week.
My outro today is a virtual kick up the arse, right? A virtual kick up the arse for any of you that are currently looking into summer and going, it's probably going to be quieter on the leads front. It's probably going to be quieter on the clients front and all of that, and giving yourself validation to slow down. As I mentioned before in regards to the work you do now consistently will pay off in 2-3 months' time. If you do it consistently, by the way, is the work you do now will pay off in September in terms of the amount of content you put out, how that message will land, the emails, the lead magnets, the work you do on the gym floor to interact with people, and making sure that you are staying consistent. And I've mentioned this quite a lot, to your daily non-negotiables. You as a coach should have weekly stuff that you need to do broken down into daily that you tick off on a daily basis, like get a post out, jump on stories, get a poll out, send my email, check in with clients, do my feedback. That's my Monday done. Then I've got to, maybe there's some additional non-negotiables for you, like training, walking, running, whatever that is, food, all of that type of stuff. But you're blending personal and business-based non-negotiables into every single day, and you're keeping yourself accountable to that. Because if you're not, I feel like you're probably the type of person who asked the question before that always feels busy but not really getting anything out of it. And that would be my outro today. Thanks very much for your time, everybody.